and welcome to Room 303. We are in Senior English B, and we now turn to a very brief little poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson on page 969 of your hymnals. The background information here that you're reading with me says, The Princess of a text of 1847 is a long narrative poem that contains a number of songs. Some of these songs, including the one that follows, are considered to be among the finest of Tennyson's lyrics. So let's point out that this Tears, Idle Tears poem is actually a song, and it's one of a number that Tennyson wrote. Okay, it will treat a theme common in Tennyson's work. Let's write this down. At level 2A, the transience or the fleeting quality of life, the nearness of death. Tennyson said about this poem, quote, "This song came to me on the yellowing autumn tide at Tintern Abbey," a poem we're familiar with, or a place we're familiar with from a famous poem by Wordsworth earlier in Senior English B. "Full for me of its bygone memories. It is the sense of abiding in the transient." In other words, things don't last, and yet let's go ahead and appreciate them while we have them. The poem then focuses on regret for that which passes and cannot be truly possessed, namely love and happy times of the past. I've had a number of seniors who actually read this poem and start to become somewhat nostalgic as they look back over their high school career, and they recognize that while they're happy to be graduating, there are still maybe a few reasons to be sad. Tears. Idle tears. Let's read it. Tears, idle tears, I know not what they mean. Tears from the depth of some divine despair rise in the heart and gather to the eyes in looking on the happy autumn fields and thinking of the days that are no more. Sometimes when we look backwards, we are happy, but other times we're sad. At the same time, how can you be both happy and sad? Well, a good memory can make you both happy and sad, especially as you look backwards. Notice the time of the year, autumn, the fall. That is to say, the dying of the year is coming, the end of the year. Notice the second stanza. Fresh as the first beam glittering on a sail that brings our friends up from the underworld, sad as the last which reddens over one that sinks with all we love below the verge. So sad, so fresh, the days that are no more. It's interesting, a lot of seniors will report that sometimes when they, especially in the spring as they get ready to graduate, and they start thinking about their past, it's a lot of the people they think about. The people who were influential in their lives, many of their friends, the people who maybe after graduation they're never going to see again, and the ways in which that affects them and makes them think, makes them sad, because the days are no more, right? Look at the third stanza. Ah, sad and strange as in dark summer dawns, the earliest pipe of half-awakened birds in the very early morning hour when the birds start to wake up, to dying ears, when unto dying eyes the casement slowly grows a glimmering square, so sad, so strange, the days that are no more. In other words, it's like the passing of a time, of an era, which makes us both happy and sad at the same time. Dear, last stanza, as remembered kisses after death, and sweet as those by hopeless fancy feigned, on lips that are for others, deep as love, deep as first love, and wild with all regret. O death in life, the days that are no more. Let's point out at 2A now, really quickly. This is a poem that suggests that sometimes remembering is very difficult. It causes pain. It causes us joy and pain. Why? Because those days are no more. Let's point out as well at 2A, another message of this poem, of course, is that you cannot undo what is already done. You can't go back. You can't change the past. And yet we find ourselves often at times sad about the past, even though we cannot change, that is to say, idle. There's nothing you can do to go back and change the past. Of course, at 2B, we've already pointed out this is a classic song of Tennyson. He is a master of the lyric, and here we have the examples. Notice you have of course, certain kinds of rhythms, tears that from the depth of some divine despair rise in the heart and gather to the eyes. It's a beautiful melody, very melodic lines as well, right? Finally, let's relate to this at 3A. What is for you the movie that comes to mind about trying to remember or hold on to the past and you can't do it anymore? Sometimes, of course, these movies might have something to do with love, with falling in love, or the ending of love. Of course, it can have to do with death and passing as well, quite literally, right? What is for you, this is a song, so let's relate to it. What is for you your song of all songs about remembering the past in a good way, holding on to the good things and letting go of the bad things? It's an interesting question to ask seniors on the day of your graduation, as you walk across the track and the balloons go up and the mascara runs. What will be the song lyric that will be running through your mind as you try to somehow capture the moment of graduation for you? Finally, a 3B question or two. How do you deal with this question of the past? How do you deal with the fact that the minute you start thinking about certain events from your past, you grow nostalgic and melancholy or sad? How do you balance those two things? What is for you your favorite memory of high school that can make you both happy and sad at the same time? Can you jot down what that one is for you? Well, there you go. Alfred Lord Tennyson's Tears, Idle Tears. Thank you.